So, last session, you guys finished up uh, your Chimie adventure and made your way back to Castle Noctum to plan your next move. So, uh, that is what we're gonna do right now. I believe you guys, you're all getting together for a celebration. Um, let's see, and the UDDC Marines showed up along with Aerith's pirate crew that she'd helped out, or she'd called upon to help her. So you've got all of your um, forces that you currently have access to kind of in and around Castle Noctum. And then you got a message from one of your informants in Bateau that the Imperial Church is making ready to go on a crusade to retake and restore order to Chimie and take out the slave rebellion that you guys started. Uh, so what are you guys doing to get started planning?
Well, first, I really do think we should spend 4,000 of that gold to requisition a bag of holding,
Okay.
if everyone else agrees. It's become a
I
consistent
agree.
issue.
Yes, it needs to be done.
Yeah. So, any disagreements from anyone?
I agree.
Okay. We pull 4,000 of that 10 that we are getting out and put that toward a requisition for a bag of holding.
Okay. So let's see. So I have noted in your treasury log. Let's see. You had 3,900 and change in the treasury. You guys dumped 6K that you got from the treasury into it, so that puts you up to 9. And then you'll spend immediately 4,000 of it, so going down to about 6,000 to put in an order for a bag of holding.
Hmm?
Okay.
They're just too
So
handy not to have.
yes, you fill out an order form addressed to the Gold Pact Trading Company's mail order services, and put it in your diplomat's pouch and send that off. And you get back a response that it is on its way. Let's see. Let me check my notes for buying magic items during its next supply run or dry dock trip. Okay, so uh, the Leviathan has to go and get it, and it's currently off the coast of, um, well, on the coast near Chimie,
Yeah.
because it's picking up prisoners slash important people you want to escape. So it's going to need to drop those people off. So let me look at my notes for the ship. So the Leviathan takes uh, rendezvousing with the supply ship takes 10 days. So we're going to say 10 days from now, it will be at, it can meet you at the coast somewhere and hand off your bag of holding. So that puts us at, if I look at the timeline here, we're currently on day 14, so that's day 24.
Okay. Easy enough
Uh,
with Windwalk. We can send
We're gonna
somebody out.
find.
yeah,
We're gonna find one before
We could
we
we could use
get
2.
this one.
So
Good.
more would be. Imagine how many more
Um,
weapons we could have brought to the slave rebellion if we would have had one.
I believe one point of order. It's not a full priority in a sense compared to our main mission. But if we have the resources, a scouting team should be sent to try to find out where that black dragon went. That is a loose end in the wind that can prove problematic.
I would.
Where is old Durdas? I've been looking for him. He's so tricky to find.
Kembra, have your people seen him?
I haven't received any reports of a black dragon from any of my scouts. He seems to have gone to ground. I I assume you gave him a good thrashing.
Yes, we very nearly killed him, but if you could have your people keep an eye out, they know the land best. I trust them to be able to find him if he's findable.
I will pass the word out.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so that's that taken care of.
Alright, so, we sent the refugees to Kernwith. We should definitely gather our forces there, consolidate who we have, and prepare for open combat with the Church's crusade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who is the NPC that's kind of... I know that each unit has like its own thing, but is there an NPC who's in charge of just military in general?
You have Bozo, who's kind of like your
Attaché?
strategic, yeah, cogitator, attaché kind of character. He definitely agrees with that assessment. Bozo would also note that it is imperative that Kaime be secured and order restored for both sides, because if you look at the strategic view of the area, um, so Kaime is actually in
We need to take it
a.
in order to march on Bateau.
You need that, yes, but also it is located among some of the more fertile farmland in the area. So, like Bateau has some land around it, but it's cut off by the desert over to the east. Kaime, the farmland extends all the way out to the north out here, and it's also in the path between the lake and the sea, which causes a lot of rain to fall. So this is some of the more fertile land for farming. And if you fall is coming soon, right? So it's currently uh, day 14 of the year, and the first day of fall is on day 46. So in about 30 days, a little bit, approximately a month, uh, is when fall starts, when the fall harvests will start. And so if the workers aren't back on their farms harvesting food, then you're going to start having some problems with feeding everybody.
Mm.
And if we hold the land, they have more of the problem of feeding their people than we do.
We sort of,
At
I
least local.
believe their solution is to let them starve. This seems to be the fascisti playbook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, the slaves in their territories would certainly suffer. Bateau and Villicus have the advantage of being port cities, so they can bring in food from other areas, but it would certainly strain the resources of the empire a little bit more as a whole. Like it could probably absorb it.
It would be such a shame if there was some sort of hidden vessel under the waves that might have something to do with disrupting cargo traffic into these ports.
I also think
Uh,
that's the
yeah.
best way to utilize the Tempest rovers, as well as
Agreed.
there was a pirate ship north in the lake that one of the prisoners said they were operating
Yes.
in that area. So let's see, easiest suggestions first. I say that we send the Tempest rovers to rendezvous with them. Could we get that prisoner here to the Tempest rovers and then get them to the ship to rendezvous with that other pirate crew? What is the easiest way for that?
Yeah. So if you wanted to assign the diplomacy to the Tempest Rovers, they could take their ship and sail down to Mornfels, pick up that prisoner that you rescued, um, who I
We
gave a
can give him a
name.
sending, so
Yeah, he can meet them there even.
yeah,
So it was Henderson Holmes.
yeah.
He was a member of the Black Bandanas, which is a subgroup of the Maelstrom Corsairs, who the Tempest Rovers are also a member of. So they're kind of like loosely affiliated pirates.
They're cousins.
They're
They're a union.
cousins. Exactly. They're union. Yeah, you guys got it. So yeah, so you could definitely assign that to them and have that would you could have try and recruit them for your organization. Um, so that'd be like diplomacy. A diplomacy if you want to have that be what your organization is doing. And do you want to have assign that to Aerith?
Yes, I think that Aerith would
Yeah, that
be.
would be in the best thing with her since she's got
Yes,
ties to them.
yes.
Okay. Let me just check and make sure that she's got. Uh,
Surprised she
Lore-wise,
doesn't.
it
It's in the
makes the most
negatives. We're
sense.
screwed.
lore-wise, it definitely makes the most sense.
Stat-wise, who knows?
Character-wise, she's in the negatives. Crap.
Well,
Character-wise,
it
she
doesn't matter if
she
she's
has a
in.
-5 to diplomacy. Odd. How'd that
Well,
happen?
she's proficient with insight, so she can add her proficiency bonus to the roll,
Okay.
which is what I was looking at. Okay. So let me go ahead and write that down in the timeline. So the Tempest Rovers.
Once we get more ships, I believe that the ships that we have under our command, we should not try to force the crew into land battles with the rest of our forces. They are probably better off harrying supplies going to and from Bateau, put the city under a soft siege.
Okay, so you're wanting to once the Leviathan is done with its run back, transporting people out and bringing you your bag of holding, you want it to interdict trade into Bateau
Them and the
specifically?
pirates, yeah.
Yeah.
Just make it as hard as possible for them to operate
Hmm.
mercantile ships in the areas around Bateau.
Okay.
That would also serve the dual purpose of keeping our lines of supply from Warrenfels free in case the Alvarez try to counterattack.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so you dispatch Captain Granui and the Tempest Rovers in their ship, the Black Earl, to Mornfels. Aerith has the spell slots, I'm sure, to do ascending at some point to tell Henderson to meet them at Mornfels. There's a road that goes there. He can get there pretty quickly, and I'm sure that he can lead. Uh, there can be a group of people that are escorting him as well, so they're not just walking. He's just not walking through the swamp by himself.
Okay, good.
Um, I mean, in reality, then, with that, would it be easy to have like a detachment of Lady Kembra's people escort him?
I don't think that's necessary. It's not in hostile territory.
Yeah, and I believe Kembra's people are mostly watching the west.
Okay.
Right, you've got Elijah's people watching the east because that's kind of where they were already coming from anyway. And then you had Kembra send her scouts to the west to make sure you weren't flanked on that side,
Okay.
as
All right.
they would need to traverse the whole swamp, which they can do, but it might take a little bit more time than you probably would like.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, let's see. So I did want to ask you guys, so do you have any input on who you want to send out with the Leviathan as like your priority people? Because the Leviathan is not going to be able to um, carry out everyone.
Wasn't it
and not
like
even close.
just the elderly and the sick, like people who wouldn't
Hmm.
survive if we send them to Kernwith? Uh,
Hmm.
we don't really have any other. Like, let's see, who. This is from just the people that we rescued, right? So Kernwith
Yeah.
has Greg Sergi. We're keeping him with us. There's the treasurer. I'm not sure what we want to do with the treasurer people that we took from the Alvarez.
Hmm.
Agent Onyx, we captured two treasurers for Chimie while we were destroying the fort. Would they be someone that the UDDC would like as political prisoners? We're not really sure what to do with them. We have no pressing plans.
I believe the UDDC would be interested in debriefing them if you have no other use for them.
Yes, I believe we can send. We already took their treasury, so it's not like we can get anything useful out of them immediately. So yes, I believe that
Elijah
those.
dabs at the corner of his mouth and goes, "I would disagree."
Well, all right. Besides food, yes, send them definitely.
Hmm.
Uh, Taylor is coming with us because I want bed sheets. The chef is coming
Yep.
with us because I want good food. Uh, the Basri dwarf, he's basically said, I'm not hostile to you, I'm thankful to you, but there ain't shit that I can do for you, so I'm not keen on giving him any favors or giving him a ride. He can sort his own shit out, unless he wants to do us a favor.
Right.
The regular Alvarez people, the drunkard and the lazy guy, I feel no need to take them as political prisoners. We can put them to work just as forced labor for whatever military camps we do. I'm sure that Noctum will make good use of them. Let's see. The pirate guy, we're sending off for that. The Garrick, the swamp hunter, we'll be returning them to Kembra's people.
Hmm.
I believe that Laura Enzo wishes to continue fighting with us. Same with Sergeant Greg Sergey. Yeah, so just the two political prisoners, uh, enough people to make sure they don't cause a ruckus, and then like elderly children, people that should not be in a war zone, if
Okay.
possible.
Yeah, I mean there are plenty of those. I mean they'll send as many as can fit in the submarine.
Yeah.
I guess the very sick and the very young, but there are like a lot of people. And as they are moving through territory and also and scrounging for food and liberating more slaves, they're going to get more and more.
Yeah.
So there's already like hundreds of freed slaves pouring into Kernwith.
Yeah,
Um,
I believe that we actually left that decision to like Sergey
yeah,
and the other people, just like
yeah, you did. I just
whoever.
wanted to know if there's, yeah,
Nope, the two treasures, just send them for debriefing. Otherwise, just whoever needs to
okay,
get out of there isn't willing to stay and fight.
okay. I'll make a note.
Uh, is Soul already going with that group? Like, what did we do with Soul?
Yeah, Soul was sent to Mournfells to um go ahead and get sent on to the UDDC, I believe,
Okay,
was
so
the plan.
she'll join that.
So she'll be there too.
All right.
Um,
So
let me.
then,
let's see. And then you have your cavalry. Your unit of cavalry shows up with Sir Collier. So I move that into the. No, there we go. Players. Here we go.
Okay.
And we can.
So the military units we have, the rebel longbowmen and the swamp hunter, are the longbowmen and the swamp hunters considered just deployed because we're using them for scouting, so we're not going to have them open for the warfare if it happens, or
So I'm assuming that you'll know approximately when that battle will be, and so you'll be able to get them into position for that battle.
okay,
But you don't have them in position if there's like anything that comes up before then.
okay, that's fine. So then the Tempest Rovers are just out. We're I don't th- I don't think we're gonna have them in time for warfare unless they like come back and do stuff.
Well, they can travel
Yes.
pretty fast on the Black Earl.
Okay,
Because they can travel 96 miles a day on the Black Earl on the
okay,
water. So they can definitely get to Mornfell's from Castle Noctum. Let me measure this out. Right, so Mornfell's to Castle Noctum on the water route
They'll get there in
is
a
like a day.
day.
Well, but to
Yeah,
Castle, but to Kernwith Stronghold is where we need them mustered.
true. Well, so you guys are in intrigue right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm just thinking of
so
what. Okay, I just don't want to do anything in intrigue that's going to. We want to balance doing something in intrigue that is making the units useful, but also not depriving us of them when it comes to the
right.
actual combat. So that was my thing. If we're using them to harass and we're not necessarily mustering, yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess, yeah. So they have plenty of time to make the travel in this week to get to get to get to Mornfels, pick up the guy. The guy's he can get from Kernwith to Mornfels in about a day as well,
Okay.
right? Because it's 30 miles, so he'll be there. Uh,
Along the
not
road
tomorrow,
too.
but the next day.
Yeah.
And then they can travel back to Castle Noctum in a day, right? That's 2 days, and then they can get to Mistelding the next day. So that's like 3 days to pick up the guy and to get to Mistelding, and then do the negotiations over a couple of days, and then get back to Castle Noctum.
Okay.
So they can make that they can get that done in a week.
Okay.
Um,
Awesome. All right. So
and
we'll.
then if they're harassing in the area anyway, like they can land here, or they can land at the coast and march over to Kernwith. The crew, their boarding parties, right, can make it to Kernwith, especially if they are able to get to the road or something
Okay.
and get there for a battle.
Okay, so we'll have
Um,
them for the fight, and we'll have the Swamp Hunters and Rebel Longbowmen for the fight. Okay,
yeah.
so the next course I would recommend, Sir Cartier, is that we take the troops that we have here, the Tempest Rovers, the UDDC Marines, the Wraith Tribe, and the Headless Hunt, the Vengeful Dead, and the Headless Hunt, and we march them to Kernwith and see who we can muster from the freed slaves to add to our forces.
I agree. I like that.
Okay. So I will note that the Wraith warriors are currently making their way to Castle Noctum.
Oh,
They're
they're not. Oh,
protecting.
I forgot we took Chimie so quick.
Yeah, they're still making their way to Castle Noctum because they've got a whole village with them, and they're
Yes.
moving through a swamp,
Okay.
so they can really only move like one hex a day. So like once they get to Castle Noctum, then they can move a little bit more quickly, or you can have like I guess you could potentially have the Tempest Rovers pick them back up on their way back from Mistelding and drop them off.
I think the Tempest Rovers giving them a ride once they get here. Uh,
Yeah.
Yes, Chieftain, Archdruid, I believe, while we march our forces to Kernwith, if we can leave you here in charge of the rebuilding and defense of Castle Noctum, turn it into uh, a town for the villagers to rebuild their homes in. I believe that would be good.
Yes, we can do that. Especially once the tribe gets here and we have more help.
Good. Okay. We'll unfortunately be taking a lot of the undead labor, but that might also make things less unsettling for the new arrivals.
I mean, they've been living in this swamp their whole lives, so there's lots of undead around.
Yes, but usually not friendly ones that they're working shoulder to shoulder with.
This is true. Yeah. Okay, so you guys want to deploy your units to Kernwith?
Yep.
Okay, so let's see. So the rebel longbowmen are still going to hold the perimeter. The Tempest Rovers are on diplomatic duty. The Marines are going to have to march. The Vengeful Dead are going to have to march. The Warriors are going to go once they are um, ready. The Swamp Hunters are on the western approach, and then the Headless Hunt are going to have to march. So another thing you can do is you can have one unit loaded into the Black Earl, the Tempest Rover's ship, and ride with them back to
Probably the Marines.
Warrenfels. Yeah,
They probably don't want to do a march with a bunch of zombies.
yeah. And then they can march along the road from Warrenfels to Kernwith.
Okay.
And you can have your undead make the trek through the swamp.
Yeah. I imagine we don't have much in the way of supplies to help with refugees. We're an undead castle. It's
No,
yeah, we
no.
can't really provide any relief whatsoever. That's fun.
Yeah. I mean, you will have the Wraith tribe who know how to live off of the land moving
That
in,
ain't gonna help much.
but that's probably not going to cut it. Yeah. No, your best bet for sustaining the refugees is to reestablish the existing infrastructure, but this time they're laboring for themselves
Okay.
and
We
not
also
under the whip of their
yeah. We
oppressors.
also left him with a bunch of petty change. Can we just drop a line to the Gold Pack Trading Company saying, "Hey, a bunch of refugees, this location, they have gold for supplies. If you can get them a supply ship, they will buy it off you."
Uh, well, so they're not on the coast
I'll
directly.
leave that to the Gold Pack Trading Company to figure out.
Yeah, and
The Gold Pack are
I-
greedy enough; they might figure it out.
That's their
I
Remember-
job.
mean, this area right here, it's not directly on the coast, but that surely you can organize someone to drop it off in this area.
well, and remember the reason that the Leviathan is picking up your items for you, like your bag of holding, is because you are currently outside of the Gold Pack Trading Company's delivery area,
Ah, that's
Oh
right.
shit!
right?
I was hoping with overnight shipping.
Yeah.
Uh,
You remember you have in your mail.
Yep. No, I
Let's
remember now.
see.
Yeah.
Yes, here it is. Unfortunately, you're currently outside of our approved delivery areas.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
What are our
Um,
options for like sending, or is it like a little package like take care of that?
We can send letters, but nothing
yeah,
but letters.
you can email basically whoever you want.
Yeah.
With our
You just
little
can't.
package thing?
Not
Right.
parcels, just letters.
Right.
Oh yeah, I was just talking about magical like communications because I was like, oh, do I want this thing that lets me use the sending spell? It's like okay.
Oh, we also have Aerith, who during downtime is just basically like a phone.
A phone.
I
I
mean,
Sounds
mean,
like
the
I don't have
sent.
to worry about it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, which thing are you talking about?
Oh, I think since it's an ability score increase level, I can change my pact. I think I might go for Pack of the Tome instead of Pack of the Blade.
Oh, okay.
So basically, I'm gonna be like reading my buddy's journal from time to time, and I was like, wait, he wrote some other things in here. I'm gonna count that as my tome of shadows.
Okay, so you're taking it back from
I thought we kept it. Or I
Azuli.
thought I kept it.
No, you gave it to Azuli to do a book report.
Well, she handed that in, of course.
Yes.
She even pointed it out. I was like, hey, there's some like stuff written in margins over here. It's like, what is this?
Hmm.
All right.
Okay. Sure.
Basically, there's an evocation where it's like people can write their name in the book, and then you can cast the sending spell to them whenever you want. I was like, is this
Oh, I
important? Do I
see.
need
Oh,
this?
that'll actually. How many people's names can you put in the book?
Well, it sounds like we have Aerith and we have an email machine, so this only goes worth it.
Well, but for communicating with our subordinates who don't have a diplomat pouch, like for going back and
Well,
forth
how hard
between.
is it to get a diplomat pouch? It sounds like it's a pretty useful thing.
Well, but
It's an uncommon magic item, so it's not particularly difficult.
and I don't think we have one for the archdruid, one for the tribe
Yeah,
chieftain.
you currently have two. You've got one that you guys can carry with you to kind of like uh, issue orders and receive information in the field, and then you have another one that Bozo is holding. That's basically because he's acting as your executive officer and your answering machine. I don't know. He's staying wherever your base of operations is to relay your orders.
All right. Well, it's basically my choice between let's see here. Let's open up the invocations. I was gonna either take Mask of Many Faces, which lets me just do disguise self in case we're going to
Mhm.
do like talking to other people missions. Or let's see here. I think it's Book of Ancient Secrets. No, that's the ritual one. Book of. So if I'm not gonna be melee too much, as much as I like Cloak of Flies, I haven't. I got to use it in one fight for a little bit, and that's about as much use as I
Well
got
done,
out of it.
Mythical Eagle.
See here.
What's the cost in Diplomat's pouch? I don't know. I don't think it's in the same
Correct.
prices.
It isn't, no, because it's a custom Matt Colville
It's a Kingdom's Warfare
item.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the price of it?
Let's see. Well, I'd probably say it's about the same as a bag of holding, right? Because a bag of holding is also uncommon, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So
4K.
I'd say that 4K.
Okay.
I think that the sending with names in there would be logistically useful, but I also don't want you to give up a feature that you think would be cool just for logistics, because I know that logistics can be boring sometimes.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. I found it. Far Scribe. A new page appears in your Book of Shadows. Through permission, a creature can use its action to write its name on the page, which can contain a number of names equal to your proficiency bonus. You can cast the Sending spell, target a creature whose name is on the page without using a spell slot and without using material components. Let's see. Yeah, so you can contact up to 6 people with Sending for free whenever you want.
Yeah.
His proficiency bonus is 6.
Or well, if
Of
you
course, mine is.
uh what is your proficiency bonus at this
3.
level? 3? 3?
Yes.
Okay, so up to 3 people that you can send to whenever you want. Um so I mean you could theoretically, if you wanted to do that, you could have one of those people be somebody, like you could have one of those people be Bozo, and then he could just relay your message via the pouch that he's got in his possession. And so then you have a spare pouch to give to somebody else, that would then create a point-to-point communication somewhere else. And then you'd have
I
two
thought we
more
also said that
names.
Aerith just has the spending spell, right?
Yeah.
Aerith also has the sending spell, but she has to expend spell slots to do it.
I mean, that doesn't sound like such a big deal to me, honestly.
It's not. It's
It's not,
yeah.
no.
Like it's a level 1 spell, a first level spell.
Nope.
It's kind of hard to use
It's
those.
Level
third
Can't
3.
level.
use. Oh, okay,
It's
that's
third
kind of
level.
more of a big deal.
But it's, again, compared to the other things you could take, like Mask of Many Faces is probably going to come in handy eventually.
Well, I was just thinking of that one because, like, oh, we're going to do this mission where it's like, oh, hello, we're bounty hunters or something.
Yep.
Yep.
Figure that
The
might be
the
useful.
key to that mission though was not using illusions to disguise ourselves, but we can discuss that as it gets closer.
I mean, my character might need a few musicians to disguise themselves unless they don't show up.
I think that it was going to be the people who can't disguise themselves were going to be the extraction party for the people who. It was going to be myself and Elijah posing as people trying to regain their Alvarez people seeking to regain their honor by turning in Jacques, and then after we assassinated the mayor and then rescued the family member, we were going to count on you guys to get us out. But there's
But
other
All right,
if we
things.
can
I'll think about
possibly
it.
go wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else. I think all I get with this level is like, I get my ability score bonus and I can switch some things around. And that's about it. The fun stuff happens at level 9.
Yep.
All right. As for Noctum, I don't know what he's doing right now.
Yeah, we'd at least muster, because I want to start doing the logistics stuff. So I would like to muster our troops, get them to Kernwith, and then see what we can
Okay.
get out of Kernwith. It's
All right.
probably going to just be levies, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Let's see. So you guys are. I'm gonna make a note for each unit when they get there. So the Marines are gonna take a day to get to Mornfells and then another 2 days to march to Kernwith. So that's gonna put them at. It's 3 days from now, so it's day 17 that they get there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to take 17 days for me to get there?
Actually, wait a second. I look
No,
at
no, no, no.
I look at the archdruid's. Kembra, you're a druid. You are a sort of voice for the land. Do you have spells that could help feed a couple thousand refugees?
I mean, I have good berry like all druids, but it feeds 10 people per casting, and it doesn't upcast at all. So if I used all of my spell slots, then let me just do an inventory of my spell slots here.
No, it's out of character. It's not what I was. Because druids can pick any spell, and she can cast 9th level spells. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, give me a second here. Because druids
You just
are.
summon a bunch of woodland animals for us to slaughter.
Well,
Well, those generally disappear when they die.
No, not those.
Yeah, they don't leave bodies behind.
Yeah.
I think the main thing about druids, what they can do is they can like improve the weather, make the ground fertile. Not
Yeah.
immediate fucking feeding you stuff.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're just gonna have to find some people to sell some food to these people. So So I
Well,
guess that could be our thoughts. Is like, oh, where are some dudes willing to fucking sell some grain or something?
Yeah, those are long-term things. Shit.
so let me put it this way. So like these people, they had to be fed for the immediate future anyway, right?
Mhm.
So like they can live off the land for this intrigue, right? The intrigue is going to end on day 50, right? Which is 4 days after the first day of fall. So I'm basically gonna say that's close enough that if you guys can win this intrigue and secure Chimie, then they can go back to work and they can feed themselves. And they might get a little bit less food than they would have normally by missing those 4 days of work and the several weeks of work like tending the fields. So times might be lean, but they'll be okay. But there is time pressure. If you aren't able to do that, then you're going to have a whole bunch of people that you have to feed, or that they might be dead. So it might not matter. But this is something that should be a concern for the future. Is that making sense?
Yep.
Right.
And once we
Okay.
have the farmland, we can have her do like plant growth and enrich the land for like a
That's what I was
mile.
looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Cool. So,
But that probably won't actually, because that won't be a strategy that you can implement until next season's
yeah.
uh, crops.
Okay.
So that's way in the future.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
So
all the way
why?
next spring.
I mean, at least the immediate area gets overgrown immediately.
Yeah, but that's not like edible overgrowth. That's like the weeds.
You can feed cattle
Is
off
that
weeds, I guess.
Well,
plant
Good.
growth?
Do we get much cattle?
it says all plants,
Oh,
all
that's
plants in a
true.
half-mile radius. So if it's already been weeded heavily, then the only plants to get overgrown are the crop.
Think
All
about
normal
the
plants in a
giant
100-foot radius.
watermelons, the big pumpkins.
Exactly. Like in a 100-foot radius, all those crops just immediately get thick and overgrown. Could be helpful.
In a 100-foot radius. So that'd be like
Mhm.
one field.
I
Yeah.
also, and I just need to just rules as written this. If you cast it for the second thing, or if you spend 8 hours casting, you enrich the land. That's you cast it on a plant, and you get the benefit when it's harvested. So that would actually work for this current growth season if we did it fast enough.
All plants in a half-mile radius and on a point within range become enriched for 1 year. Yeah, I mean, I guess that is how it is ruled, and she would go and she would cast it right before it's harvested, but that affects a half-mile radius.
And depends on how many people you feed. That's a math question for later, but that's yeah. So
Yeah, so
it's
that
regardless. It's after this intrigue. Okay.
right. Okay. Let's see. So the UDC Marines will arrive on day 17. If you have the zombies just march through the swamp, they can cover 24 miles a day normally over flat terrain, but they're moving through a swamp.
They don't sleep.
That is including the fact that they don't sleep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's what they move it. So remember, the overland travel speed is your regular movement divided by 10. So for them, it's 2 miles an hour for a zombie, right? Because 20-foot movement speed.
Okay.
And I'm saying, well, for a unit, they generally move slower because they have to move like as a group.
Yeah.
So I'm just having it. So that's 1 mile an hour. And they can go continuously, so 24 miles in a day. But they're moving through a swamp, so half that, so 12 miles in a day.
Okay.
So let's see. So it is what? 72 miles. So that's 6 days for them to get there. So that is day 20.
Also, just to make this easier, do we know from Canberra what's at Eastlow Hold and Sanctuary of Pedum?
Let me check my notes. Eastlow, yes. And then Sanctuary
Oh,
of
we can pick
Pet.
them up on the way. Okay, cool.
Let's see, is this? Yes, and there we go.
Okay, while the forces are marching, we should probably windwalk and check out those two places.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much of like a full session you want to run for them. Lev is getting sick of the swamp. Uh, just saying.
Yeah. I haven't specifically prepared those two locations, so we could probably knock both of them out in a session,
Okay.
or less. We could see.
Because one of them seems like a diplomacy intrigue thing of just send Noctum to raise them, and then I don't know what the sanctuary would even be. Sounds like
Uh,
just ruins, but yeah.
yeah.
Like we definitely need to that Eastlow hold. We need to get those knights.
Yep. Okay, let's see. Headless Hunt can move 72 miles in a day because they're on undead horses. And I think I said it was 72 miles there. They're moving through a swamp, so they can get there in 2 days. So they will get there on day 16. Let's see. This is
What are we going to do? What's going on, fellows?
Who are you?
What do we do now?
Oh,
This
yes.
is exactly what we are deciding.
Yes. We're moving our forces to consolidate at Kernwith. We're going to muster the refugees into a few more units for our army, and then we are going to meet the Crusade head-on, secure Chimie, and crush their Crusade, and then afterwards move on to Bateau. But I definitely think while our forces move to Kernwith, namely our undead forces, Eastlow Hold, it is rumored to have some Knights of the Lady, but I believe it would be in our best interest to send you, Lord Noctum, at least, to see if we can rouse them from their sleep to join our cause. And then the Sanctuary of Pedum is a hermitage to Our Lady as well. There might be some power that she left behind there.
Sounds like a good idea. Should get Kernwith in order.
Indeed, we can use Windwalk to visit the two in a day and end the day at Kernwith.
Yes.
Okay. So is that going to be your plan for tomorrow?
Yes. Unless
Okay.
anybody else has any. I don't want to be the one making decisions. If anybody else has any input.
Oh, I think that's a wonderful plan.
I decided to get Fire Scribe, by the way.
Okay.
That's a good plan.
Okay.
What?
Mainly so I can use it for lore reasons, and I can talk to all my undead friends. I'm gonna put all useless names in this book.
But only 3 of them will be actual people. Okay. I
No, it'll
like
just be
that
all of,
because
like,
it
it'll
lets
be a
us.
diary, but it'll be in weeks.
Yeah, it lets us
I'm
communicate.
at least gonna get Elise's name in there, and we'll keep the other 2 slots open for now.
Probably
Okay.
Kembra. I'd say we definitely need to be able to talk to Kembra
Oh,
quickly.
yeah, I can pen pal Canberra.
We'll see about the rest. But yeah. I know we don't really know what more because Aerith needs to do a diplomacy check. I'm not sure.
Well, that's going to happen at the end of the week, right? Because this is the beginning of the first turn of intrigue.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So that will happen on day 22 is when she'll actually make the roll to see what happens with that. So you've dispatched the pirate crew to go and talk, and she will make the roll, but that will just represent them going and like talking with them.
Okay. So then the only thing
Pirates.
that we have to do is
Pirates.
get to Kernwith, and on the way to Kernwith, take a look at Eastlow and the Sanctuary.
Right. Okay. And you want to do that on the 15th.
It's currently.
Right?
Yeah.
It's currently the 14th.
Yes. Do it on the 15th.
Okay. Okay. So we'll go ahead and advance the clock to the morning of the 15th. Like I said, I don't have those areas planned out right now.
Do you need them to be, or can we theater of the mind some like I don't know. I don't want to cut your ideas off at the hip.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I can do that.
I mean, yeah, if today needs to be a short session, I mean, there are some of the plans we could think up and things, but today could be a short session.
I'm also fine with them just being a quick theater of the mind role playing session, for whatever you need.
Sure.
Noctum to do. Like as I said, Lev is getting sick of the swamp.
Right. So you're fine with fast forwarding through that.
Yeah, but I also don't want to if you have. I don't want to rush you if you would like to. You have something planned that you would like to do.
I don't know what did anybody send in a book report? What is prepared?
I mean, when in doubt, there's also like if it needs to be a
I-
short
d- d-
session, also that
Is there
allows
like a little bandit who comes at the
Vagabond to
door?
get into
A man
review.
stumbles into the courtroom. It's like my wife, she's
No,
dying in the woods. Help her,
this
please.
my plan was to have you guys plan, so then I would know what to plan.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Ah,
I thought
Okay,
we'd
there
be
is a
um,
able to get to Kern with him and start adding those guys to the roster.
Yeah,
But I realized we have this step in between then and
yeah.
now.
yeah,
So
I can
I mean,
talk
this
about my
like
beautiful wife.
well, like this
you
could
could.
be a short session, and that also allow Vagabond to have to like put in her ideas.
Well, since this is a
Yeah,
planning session, what else should we be planning
like
here?
I would if you don't mind doing things a bit out of chronological order, we can see what we're adding with Kern because I would like to know what forces we have so I can plan in the
sure.
interim. So
Yeah. Um. Okay. Yeah. So let's do that. So first, I did have something that is happening on the night of the 14th for Elijah, because you have been drinking angel blood, right?
He
I mean,
becomes an
little
angel.
bits, yeah.
You've been
You'll love
drinking
that.
Alita's blood.
The second angel?
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm still saving the first
Okay.
angel's blood because
Yeah, because
combat potential.
it's much more potent. Yes.
Yeah.
But Alita's blood still, it just satisfies in a way that human blood and other humanoid blood just really hasn't been able to.
Oh yeah, he's drinking the hell out of that.
Um, and in the night, um, after this whole planning session, you know what you're going to do. You're going to go to East Low, talk to these knights, and then to the Sanctuary of Padum to talk to them, and then head to Kernwith Stronghold. Um, let's see. So, the refugee caravan, I should note, is not going to get to Kernwith until the 16th.
that's fine.
So you guys will basically get there the evening of the 15th. You'll spend the night there, and then they'll show up in the morning, and
Can
then you can
we
organize them.
I know that Kembra is helping to rebuild Castle Noctum. Can she, for just one day, take some time out to do some stone walls in Kernwith just to start shoring it up a bit, and before she goes back to Castle Noctum?
Yeah, she could do that to get it back into
Just a little bit.
yeah, just to try and prepare the defenses a little bit. Yeah, she could do that.
Okay.
I would just bump back the completion of Castle Noctum by a day.
Yeah.
Basically, any day that you have her do anything other than cast Windwalk on you guys, I'm gonna uh, assume that the construction of Castle Noctum is delayed by a day.
Yeah.
So if you guys are okay with that, then you can use her to do other things.
I think a little bit of a touch up on the stronghold just before the refugees get there is a wise idea.
Okay, Cell, you okay with that? It is your
I
castle after all.
suppose.
Although I guess Kernwith
It's
is also
also his
technically your
stronghold.
castle. Yeah.
I mean, I don't
Uh,
even see what the problem with the place is, but you guys are insistent on it.
okay. So let's see. So that's gonna. Let me just make a note of that.
Large gaps are important to see the scenery.
um. So last time, Elijah, you drank angel blood and slept. You had a dream, and you dreamed of a dark mansion that you were traveling, that you were wandering through, uh, with a grandfather clock ticking in the background, and the starry night sky visible out of the windows. And tonight you dream of that same castle. Uh, but this time ahead of you, you see through a cracked door the flickering of firelight.
Oh, I'd forgotten about the dreams. Anyway, and he's gonna like start walking down the hallway toward the firelight
Okay.
in his dream.
Like, oh man, these are some weird dreams. Drinks more angel blood.
Oh, for sure. He thinks this is mildly trippy and kind of weird, and he just kind of wants to see more.
Mm-hmm. So you approach the door, and the light gets brighter, and you're at the door. Are you going to open it? What are you doing?
Oh yeah, just
Just
slide it
walk right
open
in?
and step
Okay.
through just like I own the place. Yep. That's my
Inside,
dream.
you see a man at a desk, uh, examining some papers. And he looks up at you.
Oh my god, is this darkest dungeon?
He says, "Well,
Oh,
this is surprising.
quite.
Who are you?"
Papa, it's me.
You just look at. Don't you already know?
Papa.
I want to hear it from you.
Elijah Dumont.
Hmm. Yes, I remember. Let me see here. And he uh, looks behind him at a stack of papers and kind of flicks through it and pulls out a folder and puts it down on the desk. Says, "Yes, Elijah Dumont. Dumont. Yes, I believe you were judged unworthy. What are you doing here?"
Wondering who you all were to have any right to judge me.
Why? I am your creator.
No.
I have. Yes, I
That's
was.
the
I
one
was
and
there.
only Al Perez?
You attempted to make me into something, and it didn't quite work.
Yes. Well, not everyone is worthy of my gifts, but I did spare your life.
Hope that I
Not.
do the same.
The little things.
You have no power over me.
Not yet.
Nothing. Nothing does.
Not yet. But Death and I speak, and, well, he misses you.
A few more bottles into this stuff.
I am beyond death. I am beyond life. I am everything, and you are
Ooh,
nothing to me.
spooky.
Be gone. Walk my halls no longer. Uh, and you wake up.
And he just looks down at the vial of blood. I'll see you again tomorrow.
Let's go.
I'm
Rack,
just gonna keep sipping on the blood of your children.
Rack, do you remember who that is? Does anybody but me remember who that is?
I didn't play Westgate, so I
Yeah.
don't know who that is.
Oh boy. I'm not. Nash,
I
do
mean,
you remember who that is?
doesn't that make sense, Lev?
Yeah. No, it does. Because when I'm sitting there, it's like, oh, this is actually a lot worse than what everybody
Who
else
is
is
that?
treating it as.
Who is
Oh,
that?
it's definitely bad.
Yeah.
I am not in Elijah's dreamscape.
That
I don't know what's going on.
Is that the Emperor of the Alvarez?
No, that is the maker of the world.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't really carry a lot of weight to me.
I think
I mean,
that
the
was.
Alvarez serve the light of creation.
Yep. That was probably my favorite session to run, but I'm pretty sure unnerved the shit out of even Nash.
Oh, for sure.
Chieftain Bragg, how is going the transition?
Tis a
Well,
blessed day. I can see you. Jokes.
Elijah,
wait,
Elijah, knowing much less, is unimpressed.
Yeah. Oh, Elijah would
yeah,
not take his words literally. I don't imagine.
No. No,
Yeah.
Elijah thinks that this is some scientist who is one of the Awoken who just figured it out first and has been living for centuries. That's been Elijah's like entire guess at what happened because he doesn't really remember his transformation very well. It's fairly traumatic. But that's his
Yeah.
guess is that somebody figured out how to do the Awoken ceremony, did it to themselves, and has just been doing it ever since.
Yep,
And they work in the shadows behind the Emperor
which isn't
or
a bad
Empress.
guess.
Yeah.
That's always been his theory.
Yeah.
And he's trying to piece together how the ceremony works so we can do it again.
Yeah. I figured you guys would be interested in these kinds of little tidbits as we go forward, and
Oh,
we'll
absolutely.
see what happens as you drink more and more blood of increasing quality.
See if that does it
Oh
on its own.
yes, the finer things in life.
Um, let's see. So Noctum wants to know how Prague is dealing with their transition,
I
their new
guess.
life situation.
We're just hanging out today, so I'll hang out.
Okay. So, well, I've had a day or so to think about it, and I've decided that if this is the form that the lady thinks that I should have, then I should embrace it. I live my previous life for her and in her service, and this one will be no different. So I should embrace the form that I have been given, at least attempt to. We'll see how it goes.
We can always change you around later. Don't worry about it.
Uh,
I had an experience like you back in the day.
oh, I didn't know that.
Ah, yes. My friend Alzador. He thought I was being too promiscuous. I was out being a womanizer. So
Uh-huh.
he decided to make me a woman for a summer.
Oh,
It was
well,
a
how?
fun time. He's always a trickster.
That's well, what happened to him?
Oh, well, he's had some changes himself.
Yeah, so we're all experiencing lots of changes, it seems.
We're not on speaking terms right now. I hope to change that.
Uh, well, if there's anything I can do to help,
Yeah.
just let me know.
That's how I met my wife, though.
Really?
It was the night of a tournament, and I was determined to still compete, even a woman or not.
Well, of
And I
course.
fought a fellow named Jarl. We competed hard, but unfortunately we tied for fifth. It was a great time.
Tied for fifth.
We were going to win it, but we sabotaged each other.
Ah, yes. Isn't
But
that always
then,
the way?
but then he decided to visit me, and we decided to get along with each other.
Oh,
And then I found out that he was a she, and then we found out the other way too. We were both fucking around. It was a great time.
uh, how literally do you mean that?
Well, I had some kids, and then we swapped it around, and then she had some kids. It was a great time.
Oh, interesting.
I spent a lot more time as a woman than a summer. I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah, I would imagine if you had kids that you would have to spend at
Alzador is
least.
freaking out. It was a great prank on him.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that he thought he was getting one over on you, but you sure got one over on him.
See,
I mean, I
and
do have
that's
one.
really what it means to be a knight of Noctum. You just fuck around, really.
Yes, well, I
That's what the
have one.
lady would want of you. Go
Yes.
out and have a good time.
Well, perhaps if I find
Hopefully, if
someone.
I can get in contact with Alzador again, we can make you something else some other time.
Uh, well, like I said, I am willing to experiment.
I miss my wife. Greg, do you know where she is?
Uh, no, uh, I don't know. I mean, I
Uh,
guess you could ask Elise, wouldn't she know?
No.
Since she was alive at the time?
Wait, that's a good idea. I'm too embarrassed to talk to her. We'll do it some other time.
Oh, okay. I mean, isn't she like one of your, you know, she's your Viscount?
It
But,
got a little awkward last time.
uh, yes, but I mean, I don't think that, raising somebody from the dead after 3 centuries is going to be anything but awkward, don't you?
Oh
I think it went
yeah, but you gotta give it some time.
yeah, I think it went as well as it possibly could have, except
It's been
for,
a wild few days. We killed an angel dude. We brought her back. We blew up a castle. We came back. It's been like 3 days or something.
yes, I heard that the raid on Fort Puerto went extremely well.
Hmm. Very concerning. I'm going to have to make sure the castle is prepared for such things.
Well, I don't think we'll have to worry about our powder magazines exploding since we don't have gunpowder here.
Yes, but what if they explode outside the castle? Or what if something like what was that other place? 1 second. What if something happens to here like happened in Maple Keep? Also concerning.
Yes, that would only, I mean, that would imply that we had drawn the attention of the Empress herself, which I suppose if we have that problem, it's a good problem to have, right? It means everything else is going very well.
Hmm. Hopefully she's busy.
I imagine she is quite busy having an empire to run and all.
We'll get our revenge on her.
Yes, they'll regret what they did to our homeland.
They'll regret it,
Through the
they'll
collective.
repent, and then they'll make apologies, and then we can be friends.
Um,
They'll rebuild Maple Keep. No problem.
well, assuming can figure out what happened to it in the first place. Have you seen
That's
that?
another
I
question.
I remember going there when I was a boy uh, to see it. It's
So, a few days ago, ha! Stupid.
uh, no, I mean like a young person, not a man.
Alrighty.
Um,
I've been combing through Alzador's journal. I don't really. It just has a part one. I'm not really sure what else. Still eludes me the secrets he's putting down in the pages.
mhm. Uh,
He didn't speak common. He spoke
really?
in every other language. It
That
was a
sounds like
pain.
that sounds like it would be a pain. Was that by
Look at
choice
this.
or
What is this? It says ni hao. What?
I don't know what that means.
Arigato gozaimasu? What the fuck?
I mean, are some of these notations even letters? Like these just look like doodles.
Yes. He liked drawing men's asses. Look at this one. It's pretty good.
Oh, um, hmm.
He drew this one with a bullhead. I wonder if that's a clue.
I don't know. Uh,
Maybe the
I-
answer lies in a maze. Should
a
have to find it.
maze.
You know the myth of the Minotaur of Gunzabard?
Uh, yes, I remember my grandmother told me the tale.
Ah, yes. You see, the gods, I forgot. Sorry. They did something though. Anyways, they put a
Uh,
man in a maze, and he was a bull for
yes.
some reason.
I think it was because his mother mated with a bull.
Persistence, what's your opinion on this?
What? Why are you? Sorry, no, I was tuning you all
Or are you
out.
not in the room?
No, I was looking at this map. I wasn't aware that you needed me to participate in whatever you were discussing.
Well, do you know about the bull of Cerberus? How about you, Jacques? Minsk?
God, I am not there at the moment.
No.
Minsk
Ah,
is off with the Marines.
Wow, everyone found a reason to leave.
I'm here. I'm just not paying attention to whatever drivel you're going on about.
Yeah, Bozo is like projecting forces onto the map for you with his like
Yeah.
minor illusion cantrip.
Yep.
Um,
I'm working.
playing war games with you.
Jacques is in whatever passes for like a chapel at the moment in prayer.
Okay. You still need to take your oath at some point.
I know.
Unfortunately, the person you oath with is gone.
That is unfortunate, yeah.
We'll probably save it.
Yep.
It happened now and then just rewind to it when she gets here.
Yeah, I mean, we thought it was going to happen much earlier.
We
So we
did.
had a whole thing with it.
Within
Wait, is
swamps.
that why? Did the bowl of Mingus mess with time, and that's why he's put in the maze?
Hmm.
We probably have it where we can do the oath now and then sort of like rewind to roleplay it when Aerith is back.
Okay. Now that you've initiated your rebellion.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good time.
All right. That can be the first thing that we do in the next session then when Aerith is back.
Sounds good.
Okay. Let me make a note about the next session.
Here's all the things we're gonna do.
Yes, for the next session. So we've got, we're gonna do Shock's ceremony, and then we're gonna go to the two places. East Low and the Sanctuary. Doom. And then marshaling forces at Kernwith. That's probably enough for next session and maybe into a little bit of the next one after that.
I wonder, where was the maze that this bowl was in? Let's see here. Was it under the big lake? It had a name, I think. Let's see here.
The Starless Abyss, you mean?
No. Let's see here.
Paylock?
How do I get this robot to work?
Wait, I'm
The
doing...
world map? That's too
No,
big.
wait, hey!
Empire mat. Paylock. Was it
Lord
the bowl of
Noctem, I'm
Paylock?
trying to coordinate... Oh, whatever.
So we could... Maybe the whole country is a maze. That the bowl travels. Maybe there's some eldritch symbol that's being denoted here. Let's see.
Maybe the world is a vampire. Who knows?
Maybe the whole nation was been created as part of an enormous alchemical sigil.
World is
Bozo, that's too
vampire.
far-fetched.
What
No,
if
that was
this world was made by a
Craig.
giant bowl?
Oh, okay.
Bozo is not commenting. Bozo is just projecting a map.
Let's see here. If I move this around here, if you go like this, and it makes a bull's head. You
Aye.
see. Now this goes back to the order of the stonemasons of Rudadan. And they were excellent maze makers. What?
Hmm.
Maybe the dwarves hold the secret. The dwarves are good at making mazes also. They love stone.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Bozo would make a note. There is a dwarven stronghold nearby, or former dwarven stronghold that was cleared out by the Alvarez.
Is there? Is that the one in Mataban? Let's see here.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Oh, the mine.
Is it
Carrick
is it
Rim.
currently occupied
Oh,
or
Kirk. Oh, yeah.
No.
is it further fur? Oh, up there. Holy shit. That's pretty cool. That does look like a location that would tell you about where a magical bowl of myth would be.
I don't think that's relevant in any way, shape, or form to our current situation. Please
If
say
I
it.
could find out this riddle, I could unlock this journal, and maybe I can get Alzador to stop being a weird bug man. Or something else. This is important. Bulls
We
hold
have
a
an
place in
information.
society that is often not truly appreciated.
I just like a jock. It's just like, please, I don't.
I'm not there.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Jacques is
Girl,
praying.
Mina.
Uh, let's see. So Noctum is distracting.
I can go on.
Persistence.
I can do this forever. I'm waiting
I'm
for you guys to
aware.
get tired of it. I already
Let's
talked about
see.
the wife. That's all I wanted to do.
Nash is or Elijah is having a weird dream. What is Minx doing?
Enjoying it too.
Minsk was just with the Marines before they were heading out.
Okay. Are you wanting to do anything in particular or discuss anything with anyone in particular?
Most of the time when he has the chance, and there's a group of fellow Draconitariat around, he's just chatting in his native language and singing songs and trading tales and whatnot. He is very much of the mindset of always keeping up morale and the spirits of
Mhm.
the troops, and he can't do that with the undead, so it's the Marines.
Okay. Yeah, and they brought some of the good stuff from home as
Mm-hmm.
well. So you're just having a party
I
Cool.
mean, no, it's a cultural exchange.
with your own people.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I mean, I guess it is a very large country, so there's lots of different areas.
I think it's probably just a habit because you can't, officially have parties, but you can officially have cultural exchanges.
I see. So that's what they're calling it these days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If Noctum is just continuing to interfere with the planning, and Persistence already has most of it mapped out. He was just doing some of the finer details and double checking his work. If
We
it's,
should march the relentless dead to this Karak.
I think that we're good. I suppose though, if you can finalize those last orders before Noctum interfered, I think I'm good for the day, and I'm going to go and if I have any inclination that there is a group of soldiers that are having a time, and I think I have a deck of cards. I'm gonna go and try and play a game of Dragon Poker, whatever the hell it is. I have proficiency with it. So
Once we
Okay.
knock the toe out of the way, the secrets can be revealed.
Yeah.
Hold on, I just realized something. The prisoner from before, the mage, was she
Soul.
already? Yes, was she already sent
Uh,
off?
she's already been sent off, I believe. Yes,
Okay,
she's on her way to the UDDC.
all right, that's what I thought. I was just double checking.
Yeah. Yeah. I think because she didn't even did she even make it here,
yeah.
or was she
Oh
sent?
yeah. We had her in the dungeon
Okay.
for like a day.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So
I mean,
she's
unless
been
she got
sent off.
ambushed on the way here, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe she knows something. I go down to the basement.
She's not there.
Oh. Where was I here again? I leave.
Okay. Let's see. All right. So I think we've got a plan. I guess after you organize people at Kernwith, do you have any idea of where you'd want to go after that, just in case I have time to play an extra?
So that would be the diplomatic turn for that. Do we know? Could we have the rangers who are watching the east sort of extend the range of what they're watching safely? Like I don't know if they're counting on the swamp to keep them safe from Alvarez, counter intelligence or whatnot. Because I would love to know what's
Um,
going on for Chimie, and if we can gather up all of our forces at Kernwith, and once we have everything, then march on Chimie, just to know how safe that would be relatively. Because as you said,
okay.
that's where
Yeah.
most of the farmland is. So if we can just take it, that'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you'll be getting intelligence reports. Uh, Greg knows to leave behind like scouts, like rear guard scouts, to keep an eye on things and see what's happening.
Okay.
So you would get information once you're there as to what forces there are there. So I guess it just depends on how confident you are, how long you want to wait uh, to attack.
I think
Because
well,
let's
that's the
see, the
question: is
refugees.
would we have
Yeah.
to attack it, or has it been mostly abandoned?
Um, let's see. You haven't advanced to the point in time where those reports have filtered back to you yet.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
what we would check as soon as we've mustered, like
Okay.
gotten all the undead, turned whatever refugees we can into extra units. I'd
Okay.
probably instead of because Kernwith is the ruins of a stronghold. We can use it, but Chimie is like a whole town, but it's going to be a lot easier to house people in and
Yes.
scavenge stuff.
And
So
yeah, and set up your supply chain.
yeah, so if we can take
Okay.
it for
So
almost free, then that would be ideal. But if there's going to be
okay.
resistance, then we might have to consider.
Okay. All right. So I've got a good idea of where you guys are going then. And then I
Sounds
guess
like we're
once
doing a
you've
little bit of
taken
an
it,
invasion or something. I don't know.
sounds like it.
And if anybody
Okay.
else has another idea, it's open. All ears. Don't want to be the one dictating.
All right. So I think I have enough to plan everything. Does anybody have anything else they want to do, or we can just have it be a short session?
The only real question I have: where is the mayor that we're planning on doing this plan on later on?
Bateau.
Bateau. Okay, so it's coming up fairly soon.
Yeah, we'll need to see how everything's play out. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the only thing to keep in mind is we want to try and keep your personal identity hidden, and
Yeah.
make sure they don't know that I have the Daywalker armor. So.
Well,
Okay.
keep making forgeries. Got it.
Yep. I don't know if you wanted to roleplay any of the cards with the soldiers of Minsk that I'm going to join or not. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Do you
if
have
that
anything in particular you want to accomplish other than building up
just
camaraderie?
just playing cards. Just
Okay.
getting to know 'em, yeah. I imagine that like the instinct is okay. Let's see if I can have a good time. But then after a while, the communism would kind of grate on persistence. It was like the opposite of that.
Right. Hyper capitalist.
It's not even hyper capitalist. It's just like I own no property because I am pampered as fuck by the devils who are hyper capitalist. Like
Yeah.
the definition of a bootlicker. I have literally sold my soul for comfort.
Yeah.
Streets of Capenna.
Yeah.
But so why would I mean, they're all doing stuff for each other. They have no property for different reasons,
So,
but
yeah.
you can share in that ideology, sort of.
It'd be different, but as soon as like, yes, we do everything for the people, it's like,
I mean, it's
not
kind of
really.
like how you've got like with hyper communism, nobody owns anything because it's all owned by the state in trust for the people. And in hyper, like, I guess, hyper fascism, it's basically the same, but the reasoning is different.
Within it depends on the systems, because no one has been truly any of those kinds of things. Like even within this, I'm positive the Marines, like if we're playing cards, like they might not be gambling with money, but they're gambling with something.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
like you don't have private property, but you do have personal property. I believe is the
Yeah.
difference there.
Yeah.
Persistence doesn't really even have personal property. Like he has his gear that's given to him by the order, but like having pocket
you have
change just to buy things is like okay.
Rations and nice sheets.
Yeah.
you have
Yeah,
your
sounds like you're gonna
sword.
get some personal property with that tailor.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, just to get the nice sheets, yeah. But those
Yeah.
are like he's leaving them here as soon as the job is done.
I
It's
can
like
only
he's
assume. Oh, so you're
how-
getting me new sheets. How kind.
How does he feel about rye chips?
what chips?
Like chips of rye. Have you ever had Chex Mix and you have those giant brown rye chips in there?
He'd eat him, wouldn't savor him, but I mean, he's living off military rations.
That is a good point. He'd probably eat pretty much anything, and white
Yeah.
chips aren't going to be that bad. I was going to say because that's probably something that like they're all given a certain amount of, and so they just gamble with that, and then at the end of the night, whoever won the most just gets to eat the most of them.
Yeah, and then persistence also when he gambles with troops, like he's proficient at it. He's got 20 charisma now and all that. He usually gambles to lose more than he won. Like he tries if he's with troops that he's supposed to be leading or influencing some way, he tries to make it so he doesn't leave the table with more money than he came with, just to sort of foster that. Like, oh yeah, we want to make games. He's not fleecing us. Like we can get a bit of money off of
Yeah.
this guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
You're not-
again, it wouldn't be money, but yeah, that
Yeah.
same kind of concept
Rations.
does work. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm. People are like, hey, he plays with us and everything evens out over time. He's about our skill level,
No.
even if you're
I
even if
mean,
you're sandbagging.
Sandbagging.
yeah.
He enjoys it. He's like, okay, let's see who I can actually make win at this table besides me, and he'll like if there are certain troops that are doing well, like they're getting good reports from the officers and stuff, he'll purposely seek out their tables and just help them to win more money from the games or more whatever.
Mhm.
Instead of himself, that's his thing. It's incredibly manipulative, but in a fostering, just like good service sort of way.
Okay.
He would probably also help him begin to learn some smattering of soldiers draconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's mostly because I think not most of them wouldn't know common. Like the officers do, and enough of them to kind of communicate with other people of like some bit soldiery kind of ideas.
Yeah.
So cussing and singing and all that kind of stuff would definitely come up in Draconic, and he would just learn that because he has no choice.
Yeah, probably. He doesn't know Draconic, but it's also well, no, they probably don't have as many interaction with the UDDC. Like the UDDC is not
I mean,
hiring the Knights of Savona
No.
to do
yeah.
things.
I mean, you do share a border though,
We
so
share a border, but it's a very thick border. Like,
Oh, sick. Exactly.
yeah, like he's probably been
May you
hired out. Are
explain
there
the thickness?
no? Are there any other like groups besides the Alvarez that the UDDC is like in frequent open conflict with?
Uh, now the people who are invading them,
yeah.
Oh, fair.
but not historic. Like historically, it was okay. We have to fight for the revolution, and then a lot of the more just any kind of monarchistic kingdom was antagonist with them because they're very literally let's free all of the serfs, and everyone with a bunch of serfs goes whoa whoa whoa.
Yeah.
Let's scale that back now.
Like
Yeah.
there were
But like
probably knights.
nothing got to that level, and except for Alvarez. Alvarez just went full
Yeah.
antagonist
Yeah.
I mean,
immediately.
the Alvarez are also closest to them, both on land and across the sea.
Yeah.
So, in addition to being the kind of people that would be the most antagonistic, they're also the closest.
Yeah, so that's definitely conflict.
Yeah, because persistence has like no aside from this has had no choice over what his assignments are. So if there were situations where he got hired out to fight UDDC, like he would not. Okay, cool. I just need to kill these people now, and he wouldn't think anything of it to then be playing cards with them on his next assignment. Like it's a job. You do what you do.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know that the Alvarez have hired Savonan mercenaries for the conflict
Technically,
to
no.
date.
Yeah, I don't think they would. He's been to Savona, but like a Kasani person hired him as a bodyguard because they wanted to do like a
Yeah,
study program of Alvarez and got special
yeah,
permission and hired like a human angelic bodyguard sort of situation.
yeah. So, so probably not specifically fighting against the Alvarez or
No,
the UDDC.
no, probably not. Which is good. Won't be awkward.
Yep.
It's like, oh yeah, I was there. Oh yeah, you, yeah, I killed your cousin. Yeah, Weird. It happens.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, that's all I had for tonight. If you guys want to have an hour back of your time.
I think that's sufficient.
I can add an hour. Don't worry.
Oh,
Oh, I'm gonna actually. Like I said, you wanna play some football?
I suppose we could, but would you like to hear about my wife?
nope. And